Hey everyone, welcome to this session on Ultimate Preparation Guide to OSCP 2021. Though you can use it for 2022, 23, 24 or any year until Offsec actually changes their pattern. So I gotta justify this word ultimate, guys. So this presentation could be very long and comprehensive. Advance apologies for the typos in the upcoming slides because it's been done in a hurry. So if you could spot one, actually, yeah, you can find these slides at my GitHub repository. It will be uploaded later, and all the resources that you find underlined are hyperlinked. So yeah, that's it. We are good to go, I guess. All right, so you can ask me what makes me eligible to give a session on OSCP. Yeah, of course, I'm not sponsored by Offsec, and neither am I getting paid for this session by anyone else. I'm doing this for free for OASP Chennai chapter. And the reason I'm doing this is because I published a blog on recently on how I passed OSCP with 100 points in 12 hours without Metasploit in my very first attempt. Since then, I've been getting a lot of queries. So I guess a webinar would be a right choice to answer them all. So yeah, here we are. I'm Aditya Arun Kumar, 21 years old, offensive security certified professional and a certified ethical hacker. I have completed both CH ANSI and CH practical to earn this master status. And I'm also heading the OASP chapter for Coimbatore right now. And I'm an avid learner in the field of information security for more than 7 years. I love to research offensive security, and my area of expertise involves open source intelligence, application and network security. I was privileged enough to be invited as a speaker at various conferences and educational institutions like IATM and DEF CON meetups and OS meetups like this. I have been a bug bounty hunter as well in the past, and even now I do it occasionally. Also I've been admitted into Carnegie Mellon University to pursue my master's in information security for this fall 2021. So I'll be starting as a student there from this fall. So if you have any queries regarding my master's as well, not just limited to OSCP, but if you have any queries regarding my master's, the admission process as well, you can shoot it at the end of this session. So we'll have a QA hosted at the end of this session. You can shoot your queries then. So today's agenda is about what is OSCP. I guess most of us here know what is OSCP, but this will revolve around the preparation strategies for OSCP and the exam setup that you can prepare in advance for OSCP, and it'll have a QA session as well, and what are the strategies for taking the OSCP examinations. So that's about today's agenda. And wait a second, let me monitor the chat as well. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So OSCP, what exactly is OSCP? Well, actually, it's Pen 200 PWK, also known as Pen Testing with Kali Linux, is a course that is offered by Offensive Security. So students who successfully complete this course and pass the exam will earn the certification called Offensive Security Certified Professional. So this OSCP stands to be a fundamental and a foundational course for people who are entering into this new field of offensive security or penetration testing. So yeah, trust me, guys, it's just a foundational course according to at least what Offsec says. But yeah, it's gonna break you along the way of preparation. But once you finish, you'll realize and agree that it's just a foundation, but offensive security is a huge, endless domain. So it's a rigorous 24 hours exam. To be precise, it's 23 hours and 45 minutes. It's a completely practical exam. There is no theories there are theories involved, but you're not going to write anything. You're just going to apply those theories in a practical manner. And yeah, you'll get 5 hosts or intentionally vulnerable machines. One of them is going to be buffer overflow, and the remaining 4 hosts are going to be, just normal machines, intentionally vulnerable machines. And the total points will be 100, and you'll need 70 to pass. So yeah, let's get into what PWK will actually teach you. So the syllabus of PWK will teach you right from bash scripting, information gathering, active as well as passive information gathering, vulnerability scanning using tools like Nmap or Nessus, whatever, and web application attacks like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, file inclusion, local as well as remote, whatever. And it will teach you Windows buffer overflows specifically, and how to perform file transfers from a target system to from attacker system to the target system and vice versa. And it'll also teach you about the password attacks, like how you can brute force those passwords and how you can decrypt them into a plain text password. And it'll also cover about the basic AV evasion techniques using some encoders, and it has privilege escalation techniques. It covers a wide range of privilege escalation, both Windows as well as Linux, and it will also include port redirection and tunneling, all those needed for pivoting from one subnet to another. And it will just touch up the essentials needed for Active Directory attacks, and it will give you the overview. I mean, it will teach in depth, I guess, for Metasploit framework and PowerShell Empire. But yeah, while enrolling for PWK course, you'll be given with the course videos and a PDF. It's highly suggested you go through it. Yeah, so what are the skills required for OSCP? In order to pass OSCP, what are the skills required? Well, using the information gathering techniques to identify and enumerate the targets running various operating systems and services are crucial for passing OSCP. So that would come under enumeration. And the scripting skills involve like writing basic scripts and tools to help you with the penetration testing process. It will just help you. You need the scripting skills just to automate your process. So that's it. And you'll need basic exploit modification skills, like analyzing the exploit and modifying it, or sometimes you will be asked to cross compile those exploits, and sometimes you'll be asked to port those publicly available exploit codes. So that is what exploit modification is, and you'll be asked to do that in the course of time. And finally, privilege escalation, like what privilege escalation is, escalating your privileges from a low level user to a high level user. Yeah, so and again, critical thinking. Yeah, so the critical thinking, what exactly I mean by critical thinking is thinking of all possible exploitation techniques for a given scenario. Like you should mimic like an adversary, you should think like an adversary and mimic their capabilities. So that's what critical thinking is. And using critical thinking, you'll be able to successfully detect the crucial rabbit holes, which are going to be the greatest barrier in your OSCP examination. And yeah, so what are the prerequisites for OSCP? OSCP is definitely not a beginner level certification. So what these new backers will do is, without learning all these basics like networking, programming, the basic programming, I mean, and without having any knowledge about basic encryption, they'll directly jump into penetration testing and they'll eventually fail. So that's not what I suggest you to do. So before jumping into OSCP or any penetration testing course, I would highly suggest you to go through all the networking essentials. I mean, you need to know how TCP/IP works, how web application works and everything. And you need to have, I mean, at least the basic administration skills of both the operating systems, Windows and Linux. And you need to know how a web application functions. Like you'll need to know how to tamper HTTP request, what are HTTP request methods, what are HTTP request headers, response headers, likewise, those basic functioning of a web application. And you'll need a scripting knowledge as well, familiarity with bash or Python scripting. And yeah, getting comfortable with tools, this is also a major part. You have to gain experience with tools like Burpsuit, Nmap, and you have to know the scan types offered by Nmap sometimes. And also you have to get comfortable with the Nmap's NSE scripts, and also CMS specific scanners like WP scan, Zoom scan. You'll have to get comfortable with them as well. So those are the prerequisites for OSCP. And yeah, there are several restrictions for OSCP as well. So the first one is spoofing. You're not allowed to perform any kind of network level attacks, be it either IP spoofing or ARP, NBNS, DNS, whatever it may be. You're not allowed to do it, and it's prohibited in OSCP. So I'd highly suggest you to follow the exam. I mean, to not do the exam. I mean, to not do whatever that is mentioned in exam restrictions. And yeah, the commercial tools, so you're free to use Metasploit as well as Bobsuit and whatever that is open source and free, but you are not allowed to use any kind of commercial tools such as Metasploit Pro, Bobsuit Pro, Kinetics Pro, like whatever. I mean, no commercial tools, and no automatic exploitation tools as well, like SQL map. That's a great example. You're not allowed to use SQL map. If you are encountering a SQL injection or a possibility of SQL injection in your OSCP exam, then you would have to do it manually. So yeah, that's why I said a basic functioning of a basic overview about application vulnerabilities is essential before taking OSCP, or you can learn it in the path of OSCP. That's your wish. And yeah, mass vulnerability scanners such as Nessus, Nexpose, OpenVAS, or Core Impact, especially. Yeah, those are actually prohibited, and you cannot use that, or any other tools that perform these similar actions. So you are ultimately responsible for identifying what the tool does, what kind of things it does. A best case example would be the recent issue that happened with LinPs. I'm sure you're all aware of that. So yeah, these are all the exam restrictions. And yeah, let's get into the phase one, which is the preparation phase. So if you are a complete beginner who have no idea about the penetration testing field, then I would suggest you to start from CompTIA's Network Plus certification. So it's a great course that will teach you all the TCP/IP networking fundamentals and everything. And also this practical ethical hacking course by Heath Adams. This is a great course actually. Here he explains all the phases of ethical hacking, right from reconnaissance phase to privilege escalation. And this course requires no prerequisites at all. So even if you're a complete beginner, you can take this course. He starts from networking and moves into basic Python programming skills, and he teaches you the basic Python required for pen testing, and the phases of pen testing such as exploitation, scanning, enumeration, post exploitation, and finally he ends it with exploit development. So yeah, Heath will explain. Heath is known for his his easy explanation. So he'll explain all this theoretical part of each privilege escalation vector and each normal, each technique. So that's a great course I would suggest. And if you're an intermediate hacker, or if you already have some kind of experience in penetration testing, then I guess you would be getting an initial shell wouldn't be a problem for you. So I guess most of you would suck at privilege escalation, either it be Windows or Linux. I'm saying this from my personal experience, because I when I started, I was an intermediate. I have been passively preparing for OSCP like for past 2 years. I was a passive hack the box player, try-hack-me player, everything. But yeah, I sucked at privilege escalation. So yeah, if you are an intermediate, I guess you should brush up your skills in privilege escalation. So I'd highly suggest you to go through all these courses, because I can't recommend any either of them. I would suggest you to go all of them, because each of them has its own perks. Windows privilege escalation and Linux privilege escalation by TCM, that is the cyber mentor, aka Heath Adams. So Heath will explain all the theoretical part of each privilege escalation vector in depth, and later jump into the exploitation part. I would highly recommend you to watch both of them. But if you are restricted by time, and you can't spend like a lot of time learning the theory part, but you need to get the gist of what you're going to do, then yeah, it would be wise to choose Tiberius course, because he explains each vulnerability in crisp in just 1.5 hours for each of this course, whereas Heath Adams course will take up to 7 hours for each. So it's up to you. And finally, yeah, this is the well-known playlist by Offsec, where he published a walkthrough of all the hack the box machines that are similar to OSCP machines. So the list has been prepared by TGNL. We'll get into this later. But yeah, so these are the beginner as well as intermediate courses. So if you're advanced, then you should probably go for OS ED or EP. Yeah. So what are the blogs that will help you to get started with? Man, this hacktricks.xyz is a gold mine because it has everything related to, for example, if you are experiencing an SMB related pen testing, then you would have all kind of pen testing methods listed for that specific port. So hacktricks.xyz is a gold mine. And these are other blogs. These are also, Sushant for 747 or Infosec Sanyam. Everything is good, and I have sneakily sneaked my blog into this as well. Yeah, I have published all my notes of my OSCP, of my entire OSCP preparation here, so you can check it out as well. It's not up to the mark when it compared with other blogs, but yeah, it will do justice. Yeah, you can check it later when the PPT has been uploaded to my GitHub. And yeah, these are some awesome YouTube channels which would help you to prepare passively, even if you're not even if you're not actively preparing for OSCP. Whenever you get bored, whenever you open social media like YouTube, or instead of using Instagram, I would recommend you to switch over to YouTube and follow these channels, because this is what passive preparation is. So whenever you're free, you can watch some kind of videos, and it'll just get stored subconsciously in your memory. Yeah, IPSEC, I mean, everyone knows about him, but yeah, Conda is also, I have mentioned them in an order that how much these are relevant to your OSCP. So IPSEC is highly relevant to your OSCP. He posts almost every content that is related to OSCP or offensive security. And again, Conda is awesome YouTube channel. He is a great, he posts great content. And John Hammond as well. He's a well-known security researcher. And Jason Sec, DC Cybersec, Elevate Cyber. These are all, I don't know how many years these channels are existing, but yeah, they are great as well. And yeah, Michael Lasalvia, Basra Demir, these are, Basra Demir is a female. She has started her channel recently, I guess. So yeah, all of them are great. They have their OSCP playlist as well. I have hyperlinked all those links with each of this. So you can just click on this name to go to visit their YouTube channels. All right, yeah, I would, highly suggest you to take notes throughout your OSCP journey, because notes will help you remember what you already know and what you don't know. And because not everyone has a great memory, especially me, I don't have a great memory at all. So I started taking notes, and now it's helping a lot of other people who are preparing for OSCP. That's how blog.adityanegi.com was done. That's how it came into existence. I started preparing for OSCP, and I wanted to take notes for myself. But again, now it helps for many people. So yeah, it's like two shots in a single bullet. Yep, it'll help you to reinforce your learning because of taking notes. And yeah, notes will help you, it'll help you remember what you already know versus what you don't know, so that if you come across anything that's new or unknown, you can add it to your personal notes and refer it later. So use others' OSCP notes as a reference, including my blog or anyone's blog. Use them as a reference, but write your own notes, because that is what will help you to develop your own approach to offensive security. Everyone has their approach. Everyone has different approach for offensive security. For example, if IPSEC has his own, Conda has his own, and I have my own. So develop your approach for offensive security, and notes will highly help you to do that. So my suggestions for note taking would be Gitbook, because I took in Gitbook, and Cherry Tree is also a good one. And you can use Obsidian as well. So yeah, let's move into phase 2. This is the phase where you'll be applying all the concepts and theories that you have learned from the preparation phase. So practice phase is all about practice. You don't just don't do it like you get into practice phase and go again back to the preparation phase and brush up everything. Don't do it like that. So when you are into the preparation phase, when you are into the phase 1, just make sure you're learning everything and make sure you're taking good notes, because once you do that perfectly, you would never have to go back to the phase 1 and brush up your skills again, unless until there is a huge break between phase 1 and phase 2. So yeah, this is the phase where you'll be applying all the concepts, and this is where the notes you have taken will come into play. And it's the most crucial phase for getting OSCP successfully finished in your first try. You can get OSCP in first attempt if you are lucky. And I believe that luck is directly proportional to the amount of practice you put. So this phase is absolutely crucial. And yeah, for practice, I guess you guys might have already known about this, but yeah, I have made my own list. So I have ranked them based upon priorities, at least according to my preferences. So I would suggest you to start from Vulnab, because oh my god, it's like a huge. It has a huge list of open source free machines, and you don't have to pay anything. That it has like 500 plus machines and exercises. It's a great resource, and you can browse it at vulnab.com. And the next similar thing would be Offsec proving grounds. I haven't personally tested this, but from what I've heard from my friends or from online forums, it seems that the machines that are in OSCP is very similar to what people get in OSPG. So it has two things like play and practice. So yeah, play is actually free, and for practice you will need to spend like $19 a month. So you can browse it here. And try Acme. Yeah, it's like a well-known alternative for Hack the Box. It's a freemium. It has a free as well as a premium plan, and this is a great resource for learning Linux and Windows privilege escalation, especially if you're enrolled in Tiberius course. It would be great. Wait a second. Yep. Yeah. So especially if you're enrolled in a Tiberius course, it would help you to apply all whatever he's saying to directly practice in these labs. Even if you take Heath Adams course, never mind, you can use this as well. This is a free course. This is a free room in TryAcme. So yeah, anyone can use it. And yeah, Hack the Box. It's like the most famous. It's also a freemium one. It offers both freemium and a VIP plus pass. So much they have a variety of premium plans, and yeah, it's like $14 per month, and you will get a VIP pass so that you can access retired machines. So active, there is these two things in Hack the Box. One is active machines, and the other is retired machines. So if you are a VIP member, you'll be able to access all the retired machines. There are like a huge list of retired machines which are similar to OSCP. So yeah, Hack the Box would be of great good if you subscribe to it. And then here comes the virtual hacking labs. It has like 45 plus intentionally vulnerable hosts, and it costs around $99 per month. Well, when compared with others, it's kind of the most costly. They have a reason for it, because they provide course materials as well as guide to compromise those hosts as well. So yeah, they'll also provide hints for beginner friendly and advanced lab machines. So on successfully completing and compromising all at least 20 plus machines in the 45 plus pool of machines, and submitting the report, you'll earn a certificate of completions, which also has a value, I guess. Yeah. So then here comes Pentester Lab Pro. Wow, this is the great resource, I would say, because it has like 300 plus exercises, and it's a great resource, especially if you want to learn some exotic web attacks. So it's a great resource, and it'll also have each and every for each and every exercise you'll have a video tutorial and a step-by-step guide, and on completion you'll also get a certificate. So yeah, what not. It's just $35 for 3 months if you are a student, and if you are not, it's like $20 per month, and you can browse it. So apart from these, what I've mentioned, what I have heard is, and I have used is, this Sports Figures Web Security Academy is a great place to practice web attacks for free. So yeah, the takeaway from this is, most of these people has this mindset that they're preparing for OSCP and they should not watch or read walkthroughs. Bro, you're preparing. Preparing means learning new things, and that you are not aware before. So how could you learn new things if you refuse to look at write-ups? Try all the things and still you can't get a shell. Then why are you wasting time? Go look at these write-ups and take notes, so that next time when you come across the same situation, you can use those notes and not look at the write-ups. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty much easy as that. And this is what I have done all over my phase of preparation. And yeah, the most famous two lists. So there is this list called NetSec, which is a OSCP like VMs list. So this is frequently updated, and it's been created by TJ Null, who also happens to be a community manager for offensive security. And yeah, it supports a wide range of platforms actually. So right from it also has OSCP like machines that are in vulnerable, and OSCP like machines that are in Offsec proving grounds, and also in hack the box. And there is this another list called JSONsec. So this is created by a guy called JSONsec. You can find him in YouTube. And this list also contains machines from OSCP, similar machines from hack the box and try hack me and Offsec proving grounds. What it also has is he tried some buffer overflows, and he felt that it is similar to what he got in OSCP. So it also has a list of buffer overflow exes that he had tried during his course of preparation. So yeah, so the disclaimer is that the boxes in this list will help you to get started, and it will help you to build your practical skills, or brush up on any weak points in your pen testing methodology. Though this list is not exhaustive, and it does not guarantee the passing points for OSCP exam. And yeah, this JSONsec guy, he's like he also passed his OSCP within 12 hours, spawning all the 5 machines and scoring the 100 points in his second attempt actually. But yeah, so he'll mention whatever he tried in his first attempt, as well as what he tried differently in his second attempt as well. So check out this list as well. All these links are hyperlinked, as you can see, they are underlined. So yep. All right, so now we'll have a look at what are all the unofficial OSCP approved tools. So this list is created by a guy called Falcon Spy, who also happens to be the community manager, the community ambassador for offensive security. Yeah, for note taking, I personally used OneNote, and some guys, most of the guys use Cherry Tree, I guess. But guys, I would prefer a note taking tool that can sync with cloud, because who knows, anytime your VM can crash, or anything can happen. So it's better to have something that's cloud synced. So that's why I prefer OneNote, and it offers everything almost everything that is offered by Cherry Tree. So yeah. Also, this Obsidian is another alternative, so you can use that as well. And for enumeration, I preferred Auto Recon over Nmap Automator. But yeah, both of them provides very similar outputs. And then for web, these are some tools I used. I preferred GoBuster and FeroxBuster, WFS for parameter brute forcing and stuff. And I used Nikto. If I get nothing, I'll go for Nikto then, because Nikto is one of the open source scanners which you can use in OSCP. So yeah, I prefer Nikto. And yeah, for networking tools, I used Impackets repository, like for SMB enumeration, I used PSX, etc. And for file transfer, I used Python. Like there are multiple libraries for file transfer. Actually, I preferred a simple HTTP server and Updog. So this is cute. And I used Impacket's SMB server, and Impacket also has some other file transfer options. So yeah, that as well. And word lists, I preferred Seclist's word list. Wow, this is a great resource. It has like word list for every situation that you will ever encounter in OSCP. So yeah, Seclist is one of the great word list. And yeah, rock you the universal word list. That's like the most standard one for brute forcing passwords or usernames, anything. So yeah, rockyou.txt. And for getting reverse shell, I used Pentest Monkey, because from what I feel, their reverse shells are stable. So yeah, I used their PHP and some other reversal, I'm not sure of it. And for brute force, I used Hydra, Encrack, John, depending upon the protocol that I'm brute forcing. Sometimes I actually find these enumeration tools to be exhaustive. As you can see in the meme, we need to use Nmap, Nikto, GoBuster, WhatWeb, enumeration for Linux, everything in OSCP exam. So you'll end up using autorecon.py to enumerate all this. But again, it generates too many outputs to understand itself. I find this to be exhaustive results. They produce a lot of results that in the end they confuse us, and it'll it diverts us to go beyond rabbit holes. So that's exactly what
Actually, you
Offsec
may
wants to do.
enter in a rabbit hole seeing through the results of autorecon.py.
Yeah. So as Venkat said, see, Venkat is also CRTP certified. He is a certified red team professional. So yeah, we can vouch for that. So it's better to develop your own manual enumeration approach. So use auto enumeration only when you can't find anything after exhausting your manual enumeration techniques. Again, it's just my personal experience and Venkat's, so I can't guarantee that it will work for all. So yeah, privilege escalation. When this is how you'll feel if you don't understand the file system of the respective operating system that you are trying privilege escalation on. Everything, literally everything, will feel like a privilege vector for you. Because unlike other pen testing phases, privilege needs experience, a lot of experience. It's not like getting initial shell. Initial shell, it'll have only maybe a 10, or if it has a lot of rabbit holes, then you'll have only maybe like 6 to 10 entry points. But for privilege escalation, if you don't have enough experience, then everything will look like a privilege vector. So getting comfortable with Linux and Windows file systems is a crucial thing for privilege escalation. Actually, this will help you find the odd scripts that are running and located at odd places. So for gaining this experience, you should spend hours and hours looking at the output of a privilege escalation enumeration scripts such as linpiece or linenum, whatever, to know which are common files and which aren't. So it's better if you create a checklist of all the vectors that you have learned, both from Tiberius and Heath Adams. So that would help you in your exam. And yeah, so these are some tools I used for Linux and as well as Windows privilege escalation. So Linux exploit suggester and suidenum, linenum.sh, linpiece, linpriv checker, pspy. And for Windows, I used WinPeace, PowerUp, Seatbelt, Windows Exploit Suggester, Sherlock, and AccessCheck.exe. So linpiece, as you all know, you should not use any linpiece version that is less than 3.1.3 because of this thing called sudo inject issue that has been in linpiece prior to version 3.1.3, and it's now fixed. So you can use any version that is from 3.1.3 or above. So you're good to go. And I actually prefer linpiece over any other tools because the colored output that linpiece produces helps us so much. So it'll help us to identify what are all the common files and what are the suspicious files. So it's a great tool. And so while using suidenum, just don't use the -e flag because it might be considered as a auto exploitation. And yeah, pspy will check for will continuously monitor the scripts that are running in the background. So it will be helpful for exploiting cron tabs or any automated scripts that are running in the background. And WinPeace, actually the PowerUp and Sherlock are actually partial scripts, so you can use them in a partial environment. And access check are used for checking your privileges. So all of these tools are hyperlinked as well. You can click on them and you'll be redirected to the respective repository. And
your screen hasn't changed. It seemed to be freezing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I haven't seen that. Okay. So from where did I leave? I guess I have explained this. So yeah, you can get the slides later, guys. Just grab the content, whatever I'm speaking. So this is what you will not be able to get later. Yeah. So buffer overflows for OSCP. So this, this is the only machine that for sure you'll be able to crack, because whatever you're going to practice will be the one that that you're going to face in the exam. So if you are a complete beginner and you have no idea about buffer overflows, then I would suggest you to start from the Cyber Mentors buffer overflow playlist, because it's a comprehensive guide, and you can compromise a host using stack based buffer overflows in just 6 steps, because he had made it so easy. And yeah, I would suggest you to watch his YouTube playlist, which is completely free. So yeah, you can go over that. And if you want, if you need any help with the code, you can visit over my blog, and there is this specific section called buffer overflows, where I would have mentioned all the exploit codes that are needed for exploiting stack based buffer overflows. And if you wanna if you are an intermediate, and if you wanna sharpen your buffer overflow skills, then hit to the triacme room that is called BOF preparation. This is created by Tiberius again, and this room will actually use a 32-bit Windows 7 VM as a intentionally vulnerable host, which will also have immunity debugger as well as putty pre-installed. This room will actually mimic the OSCP environment, so I would highly suggest you to go through this, and it will have like 10 plus OSCP like vulnerable buffer overflow executables, and they will also provide you walkthrough a step-by-step manual to how to exploit those things. So yeah, triacme view of preparation is a great room. And other things would, if you want to further enhance your buffer overflow skills, then start learning core lands blocks. Here he would have mentioned everything related to buffer overflows, right from that includes stack as well as heap, everything. And if you want to practice with other executables that are similar to OSCP executable that you're going to get, then you can use the SL mail or free float FTP server 1.0 and mini share and Savant. All these are hyperlinked, you can check out them as well. And yeah, getting into the OSCP packages, there are like 3 main packages. So one of them ranges from $1,000 to $1,350, depending upon the number of lab days. And you'll be provided with only one exam attempt, and it's obviously self-guided. But yeah, you'll be provided with course videos and a PDF. And there is this another package called PWK 365. So it will give you a year-long access for the OSCP lab, and it will also give you 2 exam attempts. Again, this is self-guided. And you have another package called Offsec Academy. You'll be given 90 days of lab access and 1 exam attempt. And in this case, you're not self-guided. You'll be in a session of one-to-one mentoring, and they'll include you in a small group of instruction. So yeah, these are all 3 available PWK packages which you can enroll into to get OSCP. And yeah, so I have created two possible OSCP journeys according to what I feel is right. So it's up to you to whether enroll in this plan or that plan. I'll show you. I have created 2 plans actually. This is a comprehensive plan, and this is the modest OSCP plan. So let's say you want to embrace this OSCP journey. You want to learn a lot in the field of offensive security. Then I would suggest you to make yourself a calendar, dedicate 30 days for practicing whatever you can in vulnerable machines, and dedicate another 30 days to practice in Hack the Box or OSPG. So it will cost you either $35 or $20 or $55 both. And then buy a $90 subscription from OSCP Labs. It will cost you $1,350. So in total, it will be $1,405. So this will give you a lot of time to go through the course PDF and course videos if you are willing to. I didn't actually. I just referred to a lot of blogs. I didn't go through all of that because it's like 800 pages long, I guess, the PDF course PDF is. So I thought I would just go with blogs. So yeah, but again, one of the demerit with going through this plan is that since OSCP Labs has only 70 plus machines, according to their blog. I'm not aware of how many machines they exactly have, but according to their official sources, they have only 70 plus machines. It's not a great deal. Despite OSCP Lab machines will teach us crucial concepts like AD and pivoting, Hack the Box proves to be an effective alternative for the price that we are paying here. It's like 1,350 and it's like just $20 per month. So yeah, but again, you can get additional 5 points if you complete the lab exercise and write a report for 10 hosts that are in lab. More on this later in the upcoming slides. So yeah, this is my plan for comprehensive OSCP journey, and here's my favorite part. This is what I followed, and yeah, this is modest OSCP journey. So yeah, this will just take you 3 months, but again, this 3 month is purely for practice and not for learning any theoretical concepts. So before beginning this 3 months, you should be fully well versed in the all the theoretical concepts that you should have prepared in the preparation phase itself. This is practice phase, and you're just going to practice whatever the skills that you have already known, and you're going to acquire new skills by researching on your own if you are lacking something. So this is the practice I followed, and what I did was I dedicated completely 30 days completely for Valnam, and it has like 500 plus hosts, man. And OSCP like VMs are like more than 30 or 40 plus in this Valnam. So I did all the I'm not sure if I did all, but again, almost 70% or more than 70% of OSCP like VMs in Valnam platform, and it's completely free. So what not? I completely dedicated 30 days, like 16 hours per day. I did this, and the next 30 days was my OSPG. I didn't enroll in OSPG. I had a Hack the Box VIP subscription. So yeah, I practiced for 30 days, and it has like 150 plus hosts, man. So yeah, it just cost me $20, and I used Hack the Box. So well, actually, the thing is, I actually had 90 days OSCP Lab because I won the OSCP Lab voucher by winning a CTF. So what I did was I started my OSCP Lab from this 30 days, but instead of doing my lab, I was doing Vulnerab and Hack the Box. And later, finally, in the last 30 days, I did OSCP Lab, because when I first started OSCP Lab, I was just compromising. I just compromised on like 10 or 20 machines, and I felt like it is repeating. Okay, so I lost interest, and I started doing Vulnerab, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. So I just kept on doing Vulnerab, and I moved to Hack the Box, and finally I came to OSCP Lab. So I just had like 15 days or something. Yeah. So this OSCP Lab 30 days will include an exam attempt, and you will have 70 plus hosts to hack into, and it will just cost you $1,000. So it will just cost you $1,055 in overall. When compared with the previous comprehensive journey, it will cost you like $1,405, which is like $300 is more. $400 more actually. So using this, you can also add two more attempts. Like it will cost you $150 each, so it's like $300. So even if you add two more attempts, it will just be $1,355. So yep, that's what I mean. This is one of the most modest OSCP plans, and you have nearly 700 machines when all of these are combined. You have like 700 machines, and so even if you read walkthroughs for like 350 machines and compromise them and take notes, you'll still have 300 plus machines left to practice without looking at the walkthrough. So don't feel guilty looking at the notes, man. Every time you look at the notes, just make sure you're learning something new. Okay, prepare your own checklist for each phase, such as enumeration or scanning or exploitation, pre-risk. For everything, prepare your own checklist. That'll help you a lot. And yeah, so this is phase 4, the lab phase. Every battle is won before it's fought. It's not about how you practice in the OSCP labs, but it's about how much you have practiced before taking OSCP labs, before taking this 30-day or 60-day or 90-day. It's about how much efforts you have put in prior to enrolling into this OSCP lab. That is what going to matter. in this phase. So yeah, well, you might have already known, you would be provided with 5 points if you complete a lab report in OSCP. But yeah, there is like a lot of struggle. So let me break down each of them for you. So in order to gain those 5 points, you have to complete all the lab exercise. I don't know how many lab exercises are there, but again, the course PDF is like 800 pages long, and it will have exercises as well. So you have to complete all those exercises, and you have to create a comprehensive report including all the screenshots of the exercises that you have completed. And you have to also write a report for minimum 10 lab hosts. So, and not just any normal lab host, the lab hosts that you have chosen to include in your report must contain unique previous techniques for each. So yeah, you have to remember that. And but again, if you do this, if you do this report part, you'll also get 5 points. Like you'll be eligible to get 5 points, and also you'll be provided with 40 ISE square CPE credits. So what ISE is, it's like it's the International Information System Security Certification Consortium, or also known as ISE square. So this is the organization that provides a CISP certification. So if you're already CISP certified, in order to maintain the CISP certification, you must earn like 40 CPEs, also known as continuing professional education credits annually, and 120 credits over a three-year period. So you'll get like 40 ISE square CPE credits by completing OSCP exam, by completing OSCP if you submit the lab exercise or pass the certification challenge. You can earn it either way. If you submit your lab report, you'll be eligible to get this 40 IAC square points, and or if you pass the certification challenge, you can get this points. But again, this is only applicable for the people who have already attained CISP. And again, this 5 point, right, it will be applicable in only one situation. That is, only if you score 65 points, they'll allow you to use the 5 points that you have scored. So this 65 point scenario is only possible if you are able to compromise one 25 point mission and one 20 pointer and another 20 pointer, like two 20 pointers and a 25 point mission. So this 25 is obviously going to be buffer overflow because it's the easiest in 25. And then compromising both the 20 pointers is a risky area. I don't know if everyone could do it, but again, you can use this 5 points only if you attain 65 points. That is this exact combination. Other than this, if you compromise 225 hosts and you have you have compromised a 10 pointer, you can't use this 5 points. So yeah, that's one thing to note about. And yeah, this is the lab architecture. So once you are enrolled into the labs, you'll be sent you'll be provided with a VPN connection over your mail. And after connecting it, you'll be after connecting the VPN connection, you'll be connected to the student network, and you'll be provided with a set of 3 clients. One is a Windows client and Ubuntu client, I guess, and a domain controller. You'll be connected to this, and you'll have direct access to student network. So there will be a range of machines over here, like I don't know exactly how many machines, but again, on compromising all these machines, in one of them, you will have you'll find that the machine is interlinked with another subnet. So you can use that device as a pivot to get into IT department or development department. And after compromising IT department, you can double pivot to access the administrative department. So this is how your lab OSCP lab architecture will be. And yes, this is how your OSCP lab control panel will look like. Here it will show your OS ID, which is unique for every user. And here you can select the IP address of the target machine that you are trying to practice in order to revert. So you have to select the IP and click on revert to revert the machine. And yeah, here you can see the sandbox. Here you can paste the subnet keys to unlock each subnet. For example, if you have successfully pivoted into, if you have successfully found a machine that is interlinked with another subnet, then it will have a key called subnet key. So you have to attain that key in order to unlock this IT department. So you have to attain that key and paste in this subnet keys place in order to unlock IT department. And yeah, here is where you will submit proof keys for each machines. This is where you'll schedule your exam date. So that's about it. And yeah, so am I ready to take OSCP? Well, this is a hypothetical question actually. So whenever let me put it like let me share how I decided to take OSCP. So before my practice phase, before entering my practice phase and spending 16 hours a day, whenever I start a mission, I always has this fear or anxiety whether I'll be able to solve a machine or not without looking at the walkthrough. But after a certain point, after continuously pawning 100 plus 150 plus machines in Vulnub and Hack the Box for as well as in OSCP Lab for straight 60 days without rest. At one point, my anxiety started to fade actually, and my mindset was man, screw it. I have learned so much in this process. It's just an exam, and it would be even worth to retake this. Because OSCP is a journey actually, and I love this journey of offensive security. So yeah, it would be even worth to retake it. So that is when you get this mindset. That is when you should book the exam, and that is when I booked it. So I'm just sharing my personal experiences. And yeah, finally, welcome to the phase 4, the exam phase. And yeah, don't do this, guys. Your exam will be proctored. So yeah, don't do. And yeah, about proctoring, you are strictly prohibited from screen recording. You should not screen record from 2020 or 19, I guess. This rule was implemented. And in order to so instead of screen recording, you should use screenshots. You take as much as screenshots or as possible. So screenshots for the win. And for enabling proctoring, you have to download this web extension called Janus WebRTC screen sharing. It's a Chrome plugin actually. You can download it from Chrome Web Store. It's hyperlinked. So during your exam, 15 minutes before your exam, you'll have to log into a portal, and it will ask you to share your screen. So that's when this comes into play. And in case if you're using multiple monitors, or in case if you're having dual screen or multiple monitors, please let the proctors know. If you don't let them know, then it might also flag as a malpractice. So yeah, let them know, and make sure you don't have any kind of connectivity issues in the middle. So that's the basic thing. So yeah. And yeah, regarding the proctoring, this is from official Offsec statement. So Offsec has always been an open book exam. They always encourage you to use Google or your own personal notes or any other tools, and the proctor will not disqualify your exam. Just note it down. They will not disqualify your exam for using your own notes or Google or anything, or even for any of the reasons for having your mobile or any other person entering your room. They'll not disqualify you for doing that and all, but you should not discuss anything related to OSCP to the person who's entering into your room or to any other person. So that's the only goal of proctoring here. And yeah, so this is the login page that I was saying about. During the exam day, you'll be receiving a MD5 hash. I mean, 3 days prior to your exam day, yeah, you'll be receiving a MD5 hash along with your OS ID. You have to enter it and log in to enable screen sharing. And yeah, finally, yeah. So this is how you should take proof screenshot. So as you can see, we are opening the proof.txt file, and we are showing the IP address as well. So it should be your screenshot should be displaying both of these things. One is proof.txt as well as the IP address of the target host. It's crucial that you do it, because there has been many incidents where the people had failed because of the failure to do providing screenshot like this. Okay, So it's crucial to do this. But again, how I did was I did not take any chances. So I just made a comprehensive screenshot like proof.txt, a screenshot that includes proof.txt as well as Whoami, as well as host name of the target, as well as the IP address of the target. So that's about the proof screenshot, the requirements for proof screenshot. And remember this, guys, you have to get interactive shell access to the target host to qualify as a successful compromise. Reading these proof.txt or local.txt through some kind of remote code execution or via web shell or arbitrary file read vulnerabilities like local file inclusion would not count as a successful compromise unless until you get interactive access. You should have an interactive access such as reverse shell that should have a console, or that should have a console to interact and execute commands with. So that is what will qualify as a interactive command shell, and that is what will qualify as a successful compromise when it comes to OSCP. So remember that. And yeah, this is how your exam day control panel will look like. Once you attain proof.txt from the machine, you have to choose the IP address of the target from where the proof.txt or local.txt has been obtained, and you have to paste it, and you have to submit proof key. So this button will just say proof key even if you attain local.txt from okay, let me break down what is local.txt and proof.txt. So when you compromise a 20 pointer or a 25 pointer, it will have two flags. One is local.txt and the other one is proof.txt. So the local.txt will be accessible if you have a low interactive access, like if you gained initial foothold into the target machine, and if you have a low level access, you'll be able to access the local.txt. And then on successfully compromising the entire host after attaining privilege escalation, you will be able to read the proof.txt. So this is what local.txt and proof.txt is. And even if you attain local.txt and paste it here, this button will just say proof. Submit proof key. It's not going to change as submit local key. So it's just don't get confused. And another most important thing to mention here is that this panel won't show you whether the flag you have pasted here is a right flag or not. It will obviously check whether the hash you have pasted is according to the format or not, but it will not say whether the flag is right or not. So it's up to you to make sure whether you have copied the correct flag or not. So that's about exam control panel. And yeah, let's discuss about the point distribution. So yeah, as already mentioned, you'll have 5 hosts. So one is obviously going to be buffer overflow. This is the most straightforward box that you're going to get in your entire OSCP lab exam. So you'll just need maximum 45 minutes and with enough practice. And if you have done extensive practice, you can finish it in just 30 minutes. So it's just going to be straightforward if you practiced enough with the TryAcme rooms that I have mentioned earlier. And yeah, the next is 25 points, which is also known the hard machine. Again, it will have a plethora of rabbit holes. You will have 2 flags to obtain. One is local.txt and another one is proof.txt. And I'm actually not sure of how the point is distributed between local.txt and proof.txt. In case of 20 pointer, I'm pretty sure that it will be divided as a 10 and 10. So if you attain local.txt or low privilege access, you'll be provided with 10 points, and if you do privilege escalation, you'll be provided with 10 points. But again, some people say that in the 25 point machine, if you attain initial shell, you'll get 12.5, and if you attain privilege escalation, you will be provided with another 20.5. But also some others say it's 10 and 15 or 15 and 10, vice versa, whatever. I'm not sure of that. So again, it's going to be full of rabbit holes, and it's going to be the hardest machine. And yeah, it is from what I've experienced. And you have another 20 pointer. Again, all the OSCP machines will have rabbit holes. You have to perform initial foothold. You have to gain initial foothold as well as privilege escalation in these 3 machines, in this 25 pointer and these 20 pointer. So yeah, it's going to be hard. Obviously, one of them will be comparatively easy from my experience. One of the 20 pointer might be comparatively easy, and the other 20 pointer might suck a lot. So yeah, from my experience, my personal experience. And yeah, then there goes the 10 pointer, which is like the easiest one. But again, it is easy, but only if you figure out the rabbit hole. If you figure out the rabbit hole, you'll get shell within like a matter of time, like within 10 minutes, and it requires no privilege escalation. So whatnot, it's the most easiest point you can get. And then if you complete all the lab exercises and 10 lab hosts, then yeah, you'll be provided with 5 lab points. So this is my exam timeline. So I started my exam at 4:30. So it's like 5 a.m. Yeah, I started my exam at 5 a.m. Because I felt like I can't really, start at afternoon and go through all the night. I just wanted my exam to end soon quickly. So I started my exam in early morning, and it took me, just 30 minutes to compromise the buffer overflow machine, because yeah, although it had some last minute surprises, I was able to successfully compromise it within like 30 minutes. And it took me like 3.5 hours to fully compromise the 25 pointer. It's like it was okay-ish, because when compared with the last 20 pointer, the 25 pointer was comparatively easier for me. So yeah, it took me like 3.5 hours, and another 2 hours for the medium difficulty 20 pointer machine. So in just 6 hours, I attained enough marks to pass. Okay. And I took breaks, and then hour and a half later, I cracked the easy 10 pointer machine and took a long break, because I am now in a safe zone. I have 80 points and I'm now in a safe zone. All I have to make sure is that I have enough screenshots to pass. That's it. So yeah, I took a long break and came back, and finally, yeah, it took me like more than 4 hours to compromise the last 20 pointer. That's why I felt like this 20 pointer was more difficult than the 25 pointer I faced. So yeah, overall I took like 6 breaks between my exam. Yeah, that's my OSCP journey. I completed it before like 6 p.m. And yeah, this is the exam setup I would suggest. So first and foremost thing that you could do is split your workspace. You can create multiple workspaces. So what you can do is just split them into 7 workspace. So dedicate 5 of them to each machines, and dedicate the 6th workspace to report writing. I mean, not report, like note taking. And the last workspace is for your VPN connection. Don't go there and don't mess it up. So that's your workspace. And get comfortable with the locations of your tools, so that you don't have to search where your tool is located in the last minute. Although you can use locate commands and other commands, just get comfortable with it. It'll help you in the long run. And make use of this zhrc script. Okay, or zhrc or bash rc, depending upon what terminal you are going to use. I use zsh shell, because it has received a lot of updates in the recent times, and it's like the inbuilt shell of Kali Linux. And yeah, it's pretty much convenient for me. I split my screen usually into 4 terminals, and I've set the shortcuts for everything. I have also pre-configured aliases for all the all the frequently used commands, and in these zshrc file. This will save you a chunk of time traversing into directories. And guys, time is is an essential thing when it comes to OSCP. So the amount of time you're going to save will will directly reflect in your exam, because if you save a lot of time, you can use it to relax your mind. So yeah, that's about my exam setup tips. And yeah, I gotta demystify the Metasploit restrictions, because a lot of people don't know about it. So yeah, you are allowed to it's well known that you can use Metasploit on only one machine in the process. So excluding the buffer overflow machine, you have 4 other machines to try Metasploit for. So what you can use is, on only one target, you can use either auxiliary or exploit or post post exploitation, or you can use Metasploit payload only on one target. So all these modules are restricted for one target. So if you choose the target and launch the Metasploit, then that's it. You can't use it on any other target. If you do it, then you are disqualified from the exam. If you use it on any other machines, even if the exploit you have launched, or even if the auxiliary module that you have run does not produce result, or the exploit you have launched, even if it failed, you cannot use it on any other target. That is crucial to remember. And also what people are not aware is, you can use multi-handler. Actually, you can use any other payloads. You can use shell reverse TCP. You just can't use Metasploit payload. Okay, you can use shell reverse TCP, or you can use a lot of encoders using MSFNM. You can create a stable reverse shell using shell reverse TCP payloads. And also you are allowed to use MSF pattern create and MSF pattern offset, which should become handy when you're doing Windows buffer overflows. So yeah, these are the Metasploit restrictions. And yeah, here's my wholesome advice, guys. This is, whatever advice I give, you'll end up doing this. Actually, you will be fascinated and going beyond rabbit hole when the actual path will be looking right into your eyes. This is what I did. But again, I was lucky enough to find rabbit holes as soon as possible. So you have to do it. You have to do it the way I did. Let me break it to you. So you have unlimited breaks. Actually, use it. Okay, there is no limited breaks. Like you should take only 10 breaks or 20 breaks. You have unlimited breaks. Like enter into the exam and say that you want a break and come out. It's like easy as that. So you can take unlimited breaks whenever you're not feeling good, or whenever you feel like you're getting frustrated. Take breaks, and it will help you. Obviously, you're writing your semester exam, man, you can get breaks. Okay, and so whenever you're not making any progress, even after spending like 2 hours, just skip the host and move to another, because this is crucial. You don't know how much time you are spending on the host, and time management is crucial. This is why a lot of people fail chasing beyond rabbit holes. They forget the basic enumeration things, and they just keep on trying, the things they already know. You have to do things different. You have to change the host, or, concentrate more on enumeration, use different word list. Likewise, you have to change your enumeration methodology. You are missing something in enumeration. It's not about trying harder. OSCP is not about trying harder. OSCP is about, enumerating harder. The enumeration is the key. Like everyone say, enumeration is the key. And 24 rewards are like already plenty enough. Go use it like whenever you want, whenever you're launching an buffer overflow exploit or something like that. The stack is going to be messed up. The kernel is going to be messed up, or if you launch some kind of kernel attacks. So yeah, revert only, then it will work. If you keep on launching some kind of kernel exploits or buffer overflow exploits without reverting, then you might not end up getting a reverse shell. And yeah, caffeine or coffee is a must. It will help you a lot. Again, if you are not a coffee drinker, then you might have to skip. And you have to keep this one important thing in your mind. You are not going to pen test a real world machine. You are going to try to hack into a intentionally vulnerable machine that is vulnerable to a specific exploit. In case if you are trying to hack into a real world machine, there are two possibilities. Either it could be fully patched, or it could be vulnerable. But in your case, you're into OSCP exam and all the machines are intentionally vulnerable. So all you have to do is exploiting it right in 24 hours is your only goal. So OSCP is actually a lot easier than real world machine, man, where you don't know whether the machine is vulnerable or not. All you have to do is find the right exploit or find the correct path. So you have to enumerate a lot. And finally, yeah, ipsec.rocks is a great resource to use if you need help in exploiting a specific service, or if you forget something, you can use it to brush up your enumeration skills on the go. So this is my wholesome advice. And finally, the reporting phase. Let's get into that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you are required to write a professional report describing your exploitation process for each target. You'll have 24 hours to complete your report, and it's like more than enough to complete your report. I mean, 6 hours is more than enough if you if you do it full-fledgedly. So I have attached some of the sample report and videos that will teach you how to write a report. So I have attached this OSCP's official sample report from provided by Offensive Security. You can use this for your reference. All of these are hyperlinked as well. And this is a great tutorial by Conda. Like I mentioned, this guy provides a lot of OSCP relevant tutorials. He had actually explained how you should begin writing OSCP report and what are all the things you should include and not to include. Everything. It's a comprehensive video. Go through it. And this is another video, OSCP report made. This is specific video for OSCP report writing by Michael Lasalvia. And finally, here comes the Heath Adams. He also made a video on how to write generic pen test report, like not specific to OSCP, but it can also be used to write OSCP reports as well. So yeah, you can use that as well. And yes, screenshots, like include as much as screenshots as possible. And remember the screenshot format. One of the screenshots must contain the IP address as well as the proof.txt in the same screenshot. So yeah, that is crucial. And yeah, and your report must be comprehensive, because your report, you must document all of your attacks, including all steps, commands issued, and the console output in the form of a penetration test report. So your document should be thorough enough to, your document should be thorough enough that your attacks can be replicated step by step by a technically competent reader. Okay, so that's your end goal. That's how your report should be. And failure to provide the sufficient documentation will result in reduced or 0 points being awarded. So make sure you submit the report in time. And yeah, things that you should include in your report, like if you have made any kind of modification, then you should do all this, like the modified exploit code and the URL of the original exploit code. You should provide the original URL of the original exploit code. It might be from exploit.db, or it might be from GitHub, it might be from anywhere else, or from Searchploit even. You should provide the original URL of the exploit code and the command used, the exact command used to generate any shell code, including the bad characters if it's applicable. And yeah, highlight whatever the changes that you have performed in the exploit code. And you should also be able to explain why you did those changes, why you have changed the exploit code, why you have modified the exploit code likewise. So yeah, this is only applicable if you have made any changes in the exploit code. If you have not made any modification to the exploit code, then you should only provide the URL where the exploit can be found. You don't have to include the full unmodified code, especially if like it goes like several pages long. So you don't have to do that. And yeah, so the final takeaway from this session is, OSCP is not an exam. It's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey into offensive security, and just cherish your way into it. And here are some, frequently asked questions to me. We are at the end of the session. Thankfully, I made it within time, I guess. So yeah, here are some frequently asked questions. So is programming skills mandatory? Yeah, it is recommended, but not mandatory. Let me break this down to you. It's recommended to have, but not mandatory, because it will ease your way into compromising the hosts and understanding the attack vectors if you learn programming. Okay, for example, let's consider like if you're trying to exploit an LFI in a PHP based application. Okay, so you should understand what makes the application vulnerable to LFI in the first place, or what stops the application from reading arbitrary files. So if you understand enough, you can use the PHP wrappers to bypass those restrictions and read the files. So it would just help you to understand the application better and develop your own attack vectors as well. So you can survive even without knowing all these. You can just pretty much blindly follow IPSEC's pen testing methodology or Conda's pen testing methodology, or just learn your own pen testing methodology from IPSEC, hacktricks.xyz, anything. So it's not mandatory, but yeah, it's actually recommended, and it will help you in the long run. It will obviously help you in the long run. So yeah, what scripting knowledge is needed? Okay, so Python and Bash are the scripting knowledge that is crucial. But again, you can learn Perl as well. Well, to what extent it is needed, I would say, just the basic is enough. That is, you should be able to automate tasks, you should be able to search to strings or perform several string functions. You should be able to segregate outputs, or you should be able to perform URL operations, or to the very least socket programming. That's to that extent is enough. And how many hours per day did you spend? Okay, so I have spent around 4 to 6 hours for like 2 months, 4 to 6 hours a day, and 16 hours a day for 1 month. That is for 30 days. Like all I did was offensive security. That is what, like, I'll wake up, I'll do offensive security, I sleep. That's how my sleep cycle was for this 30 days. So yeah, overall it took me like 3 months to do this. But I already had prior experiences with the real world pen testing as well. I have done a lot of pen testing projects as well in prior, and I have been into the passive preparation thing for like 2 years. I have been watching a lot of videos. I've been reading a lot of walkthroughs. Even before enrolling into OSCP labs, I was watching a lot of walkthroughs. I have been a passive player in Hack the Box as well. I did everything. So yeah, it differs from for us each. And yeah, I guess it's we are done, and it's time to shoot your queries. Sorry guys, I was not able to check the Zoom chat, but what I can do is I have created a Canva live. So what you can do is just visit this link canva.live and enter this code 831315, and you can post your queries there. I'll try to answer them now. I'll be able to view your queries from there. So yeah, you can shoot your queries by visiting canva.live and posting your queries there. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Adityan, thanks a lot for sharing your experience on your OSCP journey. I'm sure it's pretty interesting and fascinating for every one of us. I hope the participants would have gained some prior experience on how to start their OSCP journey.
Thanks, Pankaj. Thanks a lot. So I'm getting questions. So I'll just share them. So yes, I guess you can see the questions. You mentioned you did 100 to 150 machines before you started to get less anxious. What is your approach to taking on machines and hitting a wall, then using a walkthrough? How long will you enumerate pre-risk before checking a walkthrough? This is where the notes that we have taken comes into play. So what I'll do is I have a checklist of everything that I have to perform, right for enumeration as well, or for privilege escalation, for initial foothold. Everything I have made a checklist, and if I have performed everything that is mentioned in my checklist and still I was not able to get initial shell, only then I will watch the walkthrough. And so when I watch the walkthrough, I'll obviously learn something new because it's not already in my notes. So if it's not already in my notes, I might have not learned about it previously. So what I'll do is I'll watch the walkthrough, I'll add it to my notes, and then I'll continue the phase. I'll continue it. So that's how I did my phases. And yeah. So what if we change the IP and port in the exploit? Do we need to paste the whole script in the report or just mention the link? So if you are passing the IP and port as an argument, then you just have to mention the command. But if you are changing the IP and port in the exploit, then you should paste the whole script. But if it's again, it's like several pages longer, like more than 3 to 5 pages long, then I think it's better to just mention the part where you have changed the script or the line number where you have changed the exploit code. Should one go for all the 500 plus vulnerable machines? No, you don't have to go for all the 500 plus vulnerable machines. I have showed you a two list, right? One is NetSex OSCP like VMs, and the other one is JSON6 OSCP like VM. So what you can do is go through both of the Excel sheets, and both of them will have vulnerable like OSCP like vulnerable VMs. So just do whatever machine names that are mentioned in that list. I mean, it will have less than 100 OSCP like VMs, I guess. So yeah, do that. That's far enough. Okay, yeah. So this is one of the good questions. How to know which machine is going to use Metasploit and how much value it will have generally? To be honest, you would never have to use Metasploit actually, because this rule is actually a hoax, because like OSCP is like a decade old exam. It was introduced long back, and back then it was like pen testing with backtrack. So when it was long back, there was we don't have any alternatives. We had only Metasploit, and Metasploit was like only Metasploit is the only full-fledged framework. But right now, for every exploit, we have a GitHub alternative. For every all you have to do is enumerate the CVE number, put it on GitHub, and you will get an alternative exploit script. So all you need is the essential, the basic Python or whatever the language. You have to understand how the code is written. So that's what you need. And yeah, you don't need to use Metasploit and all. I never had to use Metasploit because there are several alternatives. So we never need Metasploit and all. So, do I recommend completing lab report for 5 marks? Personally, like I've already mentioned, I never even had gone through like all the 800 pages of my course PDF. So from that itself, you could have guessed I have never completed all the lab exercises. But I just felt it was like too much. In the meantime, actually, I hate reading books. I am kind of a blog reader, so I love reading blogs. So what I do was I just kept on reading blogs like hack tricks or whatever OSCP related walkthroughs, everything like that. And I was just watching videos. But instead of I don't know, man, it would be biased if I answer this, so I can't really answer this. But yeah, I didn't do it. I just used my time. Lab report will take a lot of time actually. It'll exhaust you. So I think you could use it wisely in some other things. So yeah, that's my recommendation. There you go. Okay, so this is regarding my masters from this is regarding my masters. Okay, so can you share your admits and rejects? I have made a sheets that has all the universities that I've applied to. I have got admits from, except University of Southern California, I have got admits from John Hopkins, Penn State, Maryland University, New York University, and Carnegie Mellon, and another one university, George Mason University. Yeah. So I have applied to 7 universities, and except University of Southern California, I have received admits from everyone.
And
so yeah.
people who are targeting US for masters, they have relaxed the GRE, so you can go ahead with you
Yeah,
can go ahead on complete.
actually, for fall 2021, the GRE scores have been relaxed. So I didn't even take GRE and I got into CMU. It's pretty lucky, right? How much OSCP is accepted in companies in India? Honestly, all the big four consultancies recognize this OSCP certification. And also, if you complete OSCP, there is this thing called a CRT equivalency. So CRT is a certification that is offered by Crest actually. It's like a Crest certified registration tester or something like that. I don't know the exact abbreviation, but yeah, Crest is one of the reputed certifications in all the Asian as well as European countries. So if you finish OSCP, you can attain the CRT by just paying a fee of 100 pounds or dollars. So it's like two certification. in one. So yeah, you can, if you pass OSCP, you can get that as well. And yeah, OSCP is widely accepted in India, from what I've heard. Yeah, in case if any kind of connection issue occurs in the middle, your VPN connection will be passed and your proctoring session will also be passed, so you can reconnect even if your machine restarts in the middle. So no worries regarding that, but don't let it happen frequently. Okay, so how much of SQL map I can use in exam? 0%. Yeah, that would be the precise answer. 0% of SQL map is a thing that you can use in exam. You should never use SQL map. If you use SQL map, you are disqualified. So don't do the risk of using SQL map. Learn manual SQL injection. You know, you're attempting OSCP. You're getting into the field of penetration testing. So it's important to know how to perform manual SQL injections. Okay, so please can you describe more the OASP scope of the exam? Like how much of OASP top 10 should we prepare? From OASP top 10, I can't specifically pick any vulnerabilities, but all the server side vulnerabilities, every server side vulnerabilities will help you in the exam. Like, yeah, the right from A1 injections to any other server side injections that you mentioned, server side exploits, vulnerabilities you mentioned, you would be able to use that in the exam. You can use 0 days as well. Like if you are strong enough to, write 0 day exploits, then yeah, you can waste it on OSCP as well. Your precious 0 day. How to overcome a rabbit hole? I mean, this has only one solution. You'll never know it's a rabbit hole until you get initial foothold from some other path. So you'll never know it is a rabbit hole until you get a low privilege access by exploiting some other path. So in order to overcome a rabbit hole, first you have to identify that it's a rabbit hole. And trust me guys, in OSCP you can never identify what is a rabbit hole and what not is. So I think in order to overcome a rabbit hole, you should just concentrate on enumeration harder. So if you're doing something complex, if you're facing something complex in your exam, then that's not the right path. That might be a rabbit hole, because most of the times you should be like, from all the preparation, from all these months of preparation, you should be able to exploit it easily. But if you're making it complex, then you're missing something in the enumeration part. So that's how you can overcome a rabbit hole. At which college year I started my OSCP journey? Right when I entered into my college, I decided that I should take my OSCP, but yeah, I didn't have the money until I won a CTF. So yeah, I started preparing like 2.5 years ago. Like right when I started playing CTFs, I started my OSCP journey as well. Best resource for web application penetration testing. Let me state my preferences. So the first thing would be Pentester Labs, and the second thing would be Web Security Academy. I don't know about THM because I have never tested any web application related pen testing in THM, but I have personally experienced Pentester Labs and they are awesome, and Web Security Academy as well. I've been getting like a lot of good reviews from them. So yeah, these two are best resource to learn web application penetration testing. Yeah, any resources for Python and bash scripting. So if you are an Indian, then I would suggest this channel called Telusko, Telusko. They have a Python playlist, and that guy explains it crystal clear. So yeah, it's a good resource for bash scripting. I can't really pick any single resource. It's like a combination of resources, and actually all these scripting comes from practice. Okay, so you can refer to any blogs. You can choose whatever resource you want, but again, practice is the thing that is going to help you in the long run. So when it comes to scripting, you need to practice a lot. Is Pentester Academy subscription will be enough for clearing OSCP? No, definitely not. Pentester Academy subscription, Pentester Academy won't be providing you, intentionally vulnerable machines and all. They'll just provide you exercise, I guess, from what I know. But with OSPG subscription or with Hack the Box subscription and combined with practice in vulnerable machines, then yeah, you would be able to clear OSCP, but not just Pentester Academy. With Pentester Academy, you can just learn specific web exploitation skills, but not compromising the entire hosts. And this question is regarding my masters. So, how was the admission process to get into CMU? What are the traits they are expecting from the students? If possible, please mention the cutoff. Damn. See, I'm not a bright student, and I don't have like a flashy CGPA. All I knew was information security. Like I only knew information security. I took BTech IT, and my CGPA is average. Okay, it's like 7.5 out of 10. It would roughly translate to 3 out of 4 when it's compared to the US GPA. So yeah, it's like average when compared with other people who are applying to CMU. So yeah, I think they look for specific traits like the depth of knowledge that you have into the field that you are going to pursue. For example, I am going to pursue MS in information security. Then they would check what are your previous accomplishments in the domain that you are going to pursue. In my case, I have I'm a offensive security certified professional. I have written exploits. I have a lot of research papers actually, and yeah, from what I have heard, research plays a lot of role when it comes for admissions in US universities. So you have to do a lot of research. And where you are publishing your research is also matters. It's not just any blog or your Medium articles. You have to do a comprehensive research, and you have to publish in IEEE or any other well-reputed journals, and then maybe they'll consider. So I have done few researches as well, and I have interned at Gurugram Cyber Cell, and I have interned as application security tester at like 2 or 3 places. So yeah, it's up. Like I can't guarantee you that if you have 9 CGPA you will get in, but I can guarantee you that if you have uh, if you have a good understanding in your subject, if you have previous accomplishments in your subject, then yes, you might uh, get get into CMU. Mm, Okay, so yeah, this question before OSCP, is it okay to take other exams like CEH, and what is the biggest exam, CEH or EJPT? So yeah, guys, I did CEH because I got it for free. Okay, I got CEH theory as well as CEH practical for free. So yeah, I did it because it's something is better than nothing. So I did CEH. But I wouldn't suggest you taking CEH. I mean, at least if you want to go for CEH, then go for CEH practical, because it's like it'll cover you the basic enumeration what you'll be doing in OSCP. So yeah, if you want to go for CH, go for CH practical, but I would highly suggest EJPT. EJPT is like it'll help you clear your OSCP, maybe, at least from what I've heard. So I have this another question. Oh, it's like a huge question. I have a technical question. I have uploaded a web shell and tried to take reverse shell in Netcat, but I was not getting a stable shell. So I took the shell in the exploit multi-handler. Then for Privesk, the target machine was having, okay, set assign primary token privilege. So you must have exploited juicy potato. Yeah, so I exploited that with Meterpreter shell. As you have already seen, I have mentioned that you should not use Meterpreter. Like I said, you could get a stable reversal, but again, it depends upon the type of reversal. You should not get a Meterpreter shell. If it's a Meterpreter shell, then yes, it obviously comes under Metasploit usage. But if it's just a generic reversal, like reverse underscore shell underscore TCP, or a staged payload like reverse slash shell underscore TCP, it could be anything, staged or unstaged, it doesn't matter. But if it's a Meterpreter payload, then yes, it would count as a Metasploit usage. Do you think videos and course PDFs is sufficient to clear the exam? Definitely not. So as you might have already seen in the description of each OSCP packages, there they would have clearly mentioned that it's self-guided. You should have to research on your own. They'll provide you with the fundamentals that are needed to get going, but it's up to you to research further and to practice yourself. Definitely, the course PDF and course videos are not enough. You have to research a lot. You have to read a lot, watch tons of other videos in YouTube, watch IPSEC's approach. Maybe that would help you. Okay, so now that I have completed OSCP, if I would do it again, how would I do it? What platforms would you recommend? Hack the Box, OSPG, I guess. Try me. Actually, when I was preparing for OSCP, I did a lot of machines in Hack the Box. So I would, if I am about to redo, I would use OSPG, because a lot of people online in Reddit and other forums have been saying that the machines that they get from OSPG is similar to what they encounter in OSCP. So yeah, I would go for OSPG. And then for HTTP, I wouldn't go for TryAcme. I don't see a lot of OSCP like machines there, but I think they are increasing now. Yeah. Okay, so after completing OSCP, what's the next step? Like I said, you can apply for CRT equivalency, but in order to attain CRT certification, you have to pay $100 fees, and also you should hold a basic CREST certification called CPSA. So in order to get that certification, it's very similar to CH theory. You'll just need to answer 125 theory questions, and if you answer them successfully, then yeah, you'll become a CPSA. And if you have CPSA, then yeah, you can apply for CRT equivalency and you can get CRT. So after getting CRT, I would probably do CRTP or CRTO, because it would help me a lot in OSCP, I guess. So yeah, I'm preparing for OSCP. I would, after getting to CMU, or maybe if I have time now, I'll prepare now. So yeah. OSCP knowledge without having OSCP certificate makes sense. Yes, it will make sense if you could spell sense right. But yes, you don't need to actually have OSCP certificate. I don't think a lot of legendary security researchers, like from what I know, the people who are working in Google's Project Zero or any other security team, I don't think they have a OSCP certification or any kind of certification at all. So yeah, in the end, certification are just to prove your skills. But again, if you feel like you don't have to prove to anyone, even to your employer, then yeah, why bother taking a certificate? I'm a fresher, so I think I should prove my skills to my employer in case if I'm going to get employed. So I am getting the certificate. What part of your application for your masters helped you get? Was it the education and marks? Your, like I said, my education. See, I'm from a third tier college. I don't know if it would come under third tier as well. It's called Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology in Coimbatore of Tamil Nadu. So yeah, and I said I don't have good marks. So extracurricular work in the field. Yeah, I think that's what made me get in. And your statement of purpose should be impressive. Like your resume as well. So statement of purpose as well as resume. I mean, there is no particular there is no particular criteria for them to select. They'll just evaluate your overall profile and they'll select from what I've heard. So yeah, I can't vouch for any single thing. But again, if you have performed a lot of research in your area of interest that you're going to pursue, and if you already have a lot of if you already have a lot of accomplishments in that field, then I don't find any reason to reject you.
Actually, to be more precise, each university has their own set of standards to be followed. I mean, they would have their own weightage for academic achievements, marks, your GRE and TOEFL, and your SOP. The weightage differs from university to university. So, what we can suggest is that uh, prepare a good SOP, good have set of researchers published over and renowned thing like IEEE or etc.
Yeah, that's actually true because the reason why I was from almost from the 7 universities I've applied, I've got rejected from only one universities. And from what I've heard, USC won't accept if you have less than 9 CGPA. So I don't know. At least this is what the rumor that I've heard. So yeah, it differs from for each universities. They have their own scale. And yeah, is industrial experience will be helpful. It depends upon what kind of industrial experience you have. Like for example, if you work in policy related sites, then I don't think how it will be helpful for you in OSCP. But if you are a pen tester, then yeah, your industrial experience will help you definitely. I guess we have a question related to Pentester Academy search like CRTP. Then I guess it would be best fit if Venkat answers this.
Yeah. So any experience to Pentester Academy or so CRTP and CRTE are certifications that are more focused on Active Directory penetration testing. So CRTP would be a more basic thing, and you would have again 5 machines to compromise, including 2 domain controllers. So and both CRTP and CRTV would have an consideration where you have gained an initial foothold. You only need to pivot and you need to perform lateral movements and gain domain controller privileges over the forest and the DC which you are in. So yeah.
Okay, so how did you manage your time for your college stuffs and the OSCP journey? 6 hours, 16 hours a day. Uh, well, okay, so I did this in my last semester. So my last semester doesn't involve a lot of theory papers. I just had to do my project. So, and I have already done my project as well. So, basically I was free totally. So I was
And
able to manage.
another thing is that for past 1 year we are under lockdown, so there is a lot of time for
Yeah,
anyone, I guess.
I want to know in OSCP exam, can we use phone to take help of a friend in case if you stuck anywhere? No, definitely not. As I've already mentioned, you are not allowed to discuss anything related to OSCP exam to anyone. So if you do that, you would be instantly disqualified. I'm a 47-year-old, not from computer background, but make Android and iOS apps, websites, and now interested in learning and getting OSCP. Can it benefit for me? Yeah, it would benefit for you to transition from your development background into a security domain. It would benefit for you. But again, I can't really vouch for it. So it's up to your interest and pay scale. So like if they pay you more than what they pay you now, if you get into security, then yeah, why not? Why not give it a try? Yeah, so in five boxes, there is only one Windows box for buffer overflow and other four are Linux. No, it's not like that. The other four will be a combination of both Windows and Linux. There is no specific answer for this. Like two will be Windows, two will be Linux. No, it's based on a random choice. OSCP has a pool of exam machines, and anything will be thrown at random for you. So, yep. After completing OSCP, CISP is a better choice or not? CISP is always a better choice, but the question is, are you eligible for CISP? I mean, like for CISP, you need several years of experience in the field of in multiple domains of information security. So I don't know. CISP is actually always a better choice. So yeah, if you are eligible, then yeah, why not do it? How one can start research in information security? By researching. Well, to be precise, I think you should Google a lot instead of using Instagram or Facebook. I think you should use Chrome a lot. You should keep on, reading blogs. Keep yourself updated with what are the current affairs in cybersecurity. Like it's pretty much like preparing for UPSC exam, but UPSC exam will come to an end once you pass. But information security will never come to an end.
And select a particular field where you want to pursue your information security in. Like there are multiple things like hardware security from n number of fields. Select a particular area in it and start researching. Start putting your notes online or on Gitbooks. That would help you get a name in information security.
Yep. So I'll be soon taking my CH practical exam. Any tips on how one can ace CH practical? So if you have pre or CTF experience, or if you have prepared for OSCP, then CH practical is just the enumeration part of OSCP. It's nothing much. So you can head over to my blog, which is blog.adityank.com. So yeah, I have CH practical notes posted there. So I think it would help you better. No, Linpies was flagged as auto exploit. Yeah, it was flagged as auto exploit on a certain instance, but now it's fixed. So right from version 3.1.3, the source code has been fixed. So what this actually did was there is this privilege escalation exploit called sudo injection, which will arbitrarily inject pseudo tokens of a privileged user into a process and create a sweet bash. So what that Linpies did was while running the tool, if it was vulnerable to sudo injection, then it will automatically create a sweet bash with the high privileges, with the root user privileges. So this is considered as auto exploit according to OSCP because you are not doing anything, you're just running a tool and the privilege escalation was done. So this is considered as auto exploit. So right after people started reporting it, the creator of Linpiece, who's Carlos Polop, who's also one of the reasons why I was able to pass OSCP. Like I said, hacktricks.xyz is owned by Carlos Polop. So he after receiving complaints from people, he just removed the code as soon as possible, like within an hour of report, and he modified the code in such a way that it will not create it will not create a sweet bash, but instead it will just exploit the vulnerability. It will create actually, it will still create the sweet bash, but it will remove it, and it will just display as the target host is vulnerable for sudo injection, and you have to manually copy the exploit code from other repositories and run the exploit. So it's not actually an auto exploit now if you run the correct version of linpiece. So how to get crest after OSCP? Could you please elaborate? It's as simple as mailing the crest. I think Crest support team. Yes, you can find the email of the Crest support team online. So once you have completed your OSCP certification and received your OSCP certificate, you can contact the Crest support team that you are willing to apply for CRT equivalency. So once you do that, they'll check whether you have the basic qualification. That is, you have the CPSA certificate. You have completed the Crest CPSA certificate. If you own CPSA certificate, then yes, you can. You just have to pay £100 or $1, and you'll be getting a CRT certificate. Okay, so what are your thoughts on automated tools such as AutoRecon versus manual enumeration? Also, what is your approach in the exam automated? Okay, so to put it straight, I didn't use the automated. I actually used, but I didn't go through the outputs what AutoRecon was producing. I just when I got into my exam, I started my buffer overflow and ran this AutoRecon in the background. But after finishing my buffer overflow, when I came back, the results was like overwhelming for me, and I don't feel like going through all the results because it will suck a lot of time. So what I did was I just run an nmap scan with multi-threading, like with